Hello everyone. Today I'm uploading my first ever video on YouTube. I love solving Sudoku puzzles, especially the New York Times medium and hard Sudokus. So I thought I would record this puzzle and upload it so that other beginners or maybe Sudokus and enthusiasts can watch that and maybe it would help them in solving such puzzles. So I want to start with today's New York Times hard level Sudoku. So let's see. We have a 1 here and a 1 here. One in this box, one in this box, and we need to put a 1 in this box. Now 1 already appears in this column, uh, 1 already appears in this column, and this one sees this cell here. So this is the only cell which can contain a 1, so let's put in a 1 here. Okay, now in this box we already have a 1 in this row, a 1 in this row, so we're left with only these two cells. So let's pencil mark a 1 in these two cells. Okay, now in this box we have a 1 in this column. This column can't contain a 1. This column can't contain a 1. And in this column we already have this one seeing this cell. So we're left with these two cells. Let's pencil mark two ones over here. Now since we've got a 1 in this column, I'm talking about this box here right now. Right, so if we have a 1 in this column, and because of these two ones we cannot get a 1 over here in this column, so we're left with these three cells. Now this one sees this cell, so we're left with these two cells. Let's pencil mark ones here as well. Now in this box we have a 2 in this column, a 2 in this row, so we can't have a 2 in any of these cells or these cells, so we're left with this and this cell. So let's pencil mark 2's here. Now in this box we have a 3 in this column, a 3 in this row, so these cells are taken, which leaves us with these two cells. Let's pencil mark 3's here. So this column has a 3, this column also has a 3, so we're left with these two cells which could contain a 3. Now in this box We have a 3 in this column. So we are left with only these two cells which could contain a 3. Let's pencil mark 3's here. Okay, now this column, mm, okay, I'm talking about this column. Now in this column, this these three cells are already taken. These three cells cannot contain a 6 because we already have a 6 here. So we're left with these three cells, and this 6 is already there in this row. So we're left with only these two cells which could contain a 6. Let's pencil mark a 6 here. So with the 7, 7 already in this column, 7 already in this row, we're left with these two cells where we can pencil mark two sevens. And since we've put two sevens here and we already have a 7 here, so in this row, these two cells are the only place where we can put a 7. Now this column has an 8, this column has an 8, and this row has an 8. So we're left with only this cell which could possibly contain an 8. Let's put an 8 here. Now this row has an 8, this row has an 8, and in this row we already have an 8 seeing this cell. So we're left with these two cells which could contain a possible 8. And this column cannot have an 8. This column cannot have an 8. And out of these three cells, this cell cannot have an 8 because this 8 is already in this row. So we're left with these two. Let's put an 8 here. So now we've got an 1 8 pair. So these two cells can only contain a 1 or an 8. Now this column cannot have a 6. This column cannot have a 6 because there's already a 6 here. And these two cells can only contain 1 or an 8. So this is the only place where we can put a 6. Now this row cannot contain a 2 because there's already a 2 here. This cannot contain a 2. It can contain only a 1 or an 8. So we left with these two cells. Let's pencil mark two 2's here. Now this column can contain an 8 only in this box over here. So 8 cannot appear anywhere else over here, right? And we've already put in two candidates for 8s here. See, this column has an 8. This column will have an 8 either of these two places, nowhere else. So this column is taken. This column is taken with 8. So this is the only place left where we can put an 8. Let's put an 8 here and eliminate this 8 from here. 8 in this row, 8 in this row. So we can have an 8 over here, 8 over here, 8 over here. So let's put two 8s over here. Oh, 9s. Uh, a 9 is there in this column. These three cells are already taken up. So we can't have a 9 here. We can only have a 9 in either of these three cells. We don't know which. So the center column is taken with a 9. So we're left with these three cells in this column. And this 9 sees this cell. So we're left with these two cells where we could have a possible 9. Okay, a 4. A 4 is in this row. This cell can't have a 4. So a 4 has to go in one of these two places. Now this cell can have only a 2 or a 4. This cell can have a 2 or a 4. These two can have a 1 or an 8 and only a 1 and an 8. So we're left with only this cell which has to contain 9. Okay, now in this row we need to put a 2. These three cells cannot have a 2. These three cells cannot have a 2 because of this 2. So we're left with these three cells. Now, because a 2 can appear only once in this column, it has to be in this box. So this cannot be a 2. It has to be either here or here. Okay. Oh, see, 1 6 already got eliminated from somewhere in this box. So this is the only place which can have a 6. So let's put a 6 here. Now 6 in this row, 6 in this row. So 6 can appear in either of these two boxes. So we have a 1 6 pair here. Now we can't have a 9 in either of these three cells. This is a 7. These two have to contain a 1 and a 6. A 9 is already in this row. This 9 sees this cell, so we can have a 9 only in either of these two places. And similarly, a 9 in either of these two. This 9 is in this row, these two for this row, so we're left with these two cells here and here. Okay, a 6 can't come in this row, a 6 can't come in this row because of this 6 here. So we're left with these three cells, out of which this 6 sees this cell, so we're left with these two to have a possible 6. Okay, a 4 sees this row. There can only be a 4 in either of these two cells in this column, so there can't be a 4 anywhere else. So here and here, there can't be a 4 here. So these are the only two cells where we could have a possible 4. Okay, uh, see this 9 here. Now in this row, we can't have a 9 here. We can't have a 9 here. So this is the only place where we can have a 9 because of the candidate which we put. So let's put a 9 here and eliminate this 9 from here. there's only one possible candidate here, 2. So let's make that a 2. And since there's a 2 in this column, because of these two, there can't be any other 2 in this column. So we're left with only this place where we can put a 2. So let's put a 2. Now a 4 got eliminated here, and this is the only place where we can have a 4 in this box. So we put a 4 here. This is the only place where we can have 7. 7 here. Put a 3 here. And we put a 5 here. And 5, 5, 5 in this column. Let's put 2 4s here because these are the only 2 cells left where we can have a 1 and a 4. This column already has a 7, so 7 has to be in either of these 2 cells. And this row, only 3 cells remaining, and 4 sees this cell, so these are the only 2 places where we could have a 4. Okay, this cell can't have a 7. There's already a 7 here, so these 2 are the only 2 cells which could have a 7. 2 candidates for 7s here. And since we have a 4-7 pair here, there can't be any other number except 4 and 7, either of these 2 cells. So the remaining last cell, what are we left with? 6. Let's put a 6 here. These 2 cells can only contain 1 or a 6. So this row is taken. This row can't have a 2 because there's a 2 here. And in these 3 cells, 2 is already there in this column. So these are the only 2 cells which could have a 2. So this row has a 2. This row has a 2. So in this box, either of these 2 places could have a 2, which gives us a 2-9 pair here and a 2-9 pair here. So these 2 cells can only contain 2 and a 9 and nothing else. So we can eliminate a 3 from here, which gives us a 3 here, 7 here, and what's that, a 5 here. Yes, 5 in this row, 5 in this row. So let's put 2 5 candidates here. And these are the only 3 cells which could have a 3 in this box. So let's put 3 here. Okay, we're left with 1 2 3 or 4. So let's put 2 4 candidates here. So we have a 4-5 pair and a 4-5 pair here in this row. 1 6, a 1 6, 2 3 9. Now in this box, these three cells are taken. This 5 sees this column, this 5 sees this column, so we're left with only these two cells which could contain a 5. A 5 here, a 5 here, so only these three cells can have a 5. Only either of these cells can have a 5 because we have already have a 4-7 pair here. Uh, 4 is in this column, so these are the only 4 places where we can put a 4. Let's put 4 candidates in these 3 cells. A 1 is already there in this row, so we can put 3 ones here, and also 3 is there in this row, so we can number 3 candidates in these 3 cells. Okay, 3 is in this row, 3 in this column, 3 in this column, so we're left with only these two cells which could contain a 3. Okay, look at this cell now. A 1 sees this cell, 2 we don't have, 3 sees this, 4 sees this, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So we're left with only 2 which can appear here. Let's put a 2 here, which leads us to eliminate this 2 here. We're left with only 4. Let's put a 4 here and a 2 here. Let's eliminate this 4 here. Okay, 7 is already in this row, 7 is in this column, so these cells are taken, which leaves us with only these two cells which would contain a 7. And since we have two 7s here in this column, there can't be any other 7 in this box in this column. There can't be a 7 in either of these two cells because of this 7. So we're left with these two which could contain a 7. Nine in this row, 9 in this row, 9 in this row, so 9 either of these. Oh, we forgot to eliminate this 2 because there's a 2 here There's a 2 here, so 2 can come only in this one. Let's eliminate this 2, which leaves us with a 3 here and a 9 here and 9 here, a 9 here. Now in these two cells, this 9 sees this cell, so we can have a 9 here. And because there's a 9 in this row, a 9 in this row, so there can appear only a 9 in this cell over here. And that gives us 7 in this one. 7 here, 7 here. 7 can only go here. We can eliminate this 7 here. Leaves us 7 here. There's only one candidate of 4 here left. Let's put a 4 here. We left with only one candidate of 3 over here in this box. Let's put a 3 here. 2, 3 probables over here because there's a 3 in this row, 3 in this row. So the only 2 places left for a 3 is here and here. Because of this 3, we can eliminate this 3 here. Now 3 can appear only once in this column. We already have a 3. Once in this column. Now because we have 2 candidates already put in of 3. So 3 cannot appear anywhere else in this column. So let's eliminate this 3 here, which leaves us with this box, this cell which can have a 3. Six is in this column, so we can put 2 6 probables here and here. Now we're left with these 3 cells in this box. Now in this cell, we can't have a 4 and an 8. A 4 sees this cell and 8 also sees this cell. So we're left with only 6 which can go in here. There's only one candidate of 4 here. Let's put a 4 here, which leaves us with an 8 here. Because of this 6, let's eliminate this 6 and this 6 here and here. It leaves us with only one 6 here. Let's put in a 6 here. Because of this 6 and a 1 6 pair here, it can only be a 1 here and a 6 here. We already have an 8 here, so let's put a 1 here and an 8 here. 4 in this column, we can't have a 4 here. Let's put a 5 here and a 4 here. 4 in this column, let's eliminate these two 4s from this column. So where are we now? Ones, twos, threes, fours, There's a 5 here, so there cannot be a 5 here. Let's eliminate this and let's put a 5 here. We're left with this cell which can only contain 1. Because of this 5, let's eliminate this 5 from here. This cell can only contain a 1. So let's eliminate all the other ones in this box and in this row. It leaves us with a 1 over here, the only one. Four. So we're left with only a single 4 here. So let's put a 4 here. Eliminate this 4. We're left with this cell which can contain a 4. Nine. Because of this 9, let's eliminate these two 9s from here. Now we're left with only a 2 here. Let's put a 2 here, a 9 here. Eliminate this 9, so we're left with only 2. Let's eliminate this 2. We're left with 5. And because of this 5, there can only be a 3 here and a 5 here. We're left with only a single 6 here, so let's put a 6 here. 3 cannot come here, so 3 has to come here, which leaves a 7 to be filled here. Now 7, 7, 7. We're left with 9, and that's it. Thank you so much guys for watching. Please do subscribe to my channel so I'll put in more videos. Thank you.